Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Boden, and today we're going to check out TONEX ENGL Amp Anthology. Right out the gate, I want to say this is not a sponsored video by TONEX or IK Multimedia, but they were kind enough to send me a license so I can check it out for myself and talk about it on this video. So we're going to dive into the plugin real quick. If you open the TONEX plugin, you'll see we have 6 amps. We have the Fireball 60, Powerball MK1, Invader 100, Savage 60 and Savage 120, and then ENGL Straight. These are all in here, amps based on, as you can see, right? So per amp that they've captured, they have different gain stages. So you have the clean, drive, and a high gain, and then there are also captures with an OD in front. For all of these captures, you also have a variant with a cap and one without, for example here. As we all know, a high gain amp without a cap sounds ass. Yes, but now here, for example, you could just select a cap for yourself. You could just go here, cap, and then custom IR, and then maybe just... I had one loaded in already. Then... Exactly. So... what does that mean for you? The biggest difference to something like Neural DSP's plugins is that the amps here are not modeled but captured. So what does that mean? They're captured with that settings, and all these EQ buttons and knobs change the capture instead of really changing the settings on the amp. This might feel a bit restricting, but if you just want to have the tone that those amps had, then this is the way to go. So let's talk about the plugin itself for a second, right? Let me just select the clean here. This is sparkling clean. All right, on top we have the noise gate that you can set. We have a compressor that we could set. And then the amp, cab, and then we have some modulations. For example, we can say chorus, tremolo, phaser, flanger, rotary, whatever you want. Same goes for delay and reverb. We have these different settings. And also something that I saw is for all the blocks, except for the amp and cap, obviously, you have the knob for pre and post. So you can have the modulation before the amp or after. You can have the delay before or after, whatever your heart desires. And there's also an advanced tab for the EQ. These are actually, if I remember correctly, the same knobs as these. I checked all of these amps out. I found a couple of amps that I really liked. That's why I created these presets. For example, the rhythm preset that I used in the song that you just heard. Let me just quickly go back to it for a second so you can hear it again. And for that tone, it's actually just a plugin and then the same type of EQ moves that I always do. This is without. This is with. And then if we check out the lead track, the lead has also some EQs going on. This would be without it. Also, same type of moves that I usually do. And then we have the beefy guitar. Yeah, it sounds fat in the mix, man. So, we can quickly check out these presets. This is the rhythm preset new. And then we have the lead. For the lead, for example, I did something else. I took the Liquid Shreddy amp, which is the ENGL Powerball, but I took the one without the cap and I loaded in another IR that I love. It's the Springtone IR from David Moksimitic, Mix 18. This sounds like this. And for the last riff, I wanted something a bit beefier, so I took the same preset but added a bit of bass and mids on the amp. As a 16-year-old metalhead, I always wanted to play an ENGL, and now I have the access to 6 of them. So if you kind of want to check out the ENGL amps, you can do that. using this plugin. I want to go a bit more in detail what you could do if you want to have more control. For example, I like to control what happens with the OD, because it's captured that way, it's pretty limiting. So for example, the Maxon OD 808, we know that this is the one that they've captured, but I can't change anything on that. But what I could do now is I could go to ENGL Savage 60 without a stomp and also without a cap, right? Let's do that. This obviously right now sounds complete ass. That's normal. Whatever neural plugin or any other OD type of plugin you have, you could load in here. Let me check. I'm going to go with Rabia, why not? Just for the OD. This is going into a bit of an advanced territory, right? So I'm going to disable the amp, the cab and everything else here. And for now, we're just going to use the Paragon Overdrive. But now we need a cab. So let me, for example, go ahead and open up something where I could load in, for example, this. Let me just, I don't know. Load. There we go. Okay, now how does this sound? Now this is more like it, just because I can control more. So we have the amp set. Let's start off with the OD, right? I'm gonna actually do it maybe like this. Okay, now let's check out the amp. What I also like to do, this is also a pro tip. What I also like to do is open an EQ where I can just see what's happening, right? Because if I just turn down the mids here, for example, we should see stuff happening. Let's take away the bass. You see? So this is just a kind of a reference for me. Let's say I want a bit more like this. A little less presence, maybe. What do we do now? We took the ENGL Savage 60, but we used it in our own workflow, right? No, thank God we live in these times, but no one is forcing you to do anything. You can take whatever you want. So what I did is right now, I took the OD pedal from Rabia. That leads into the ENGL amp, the Savage 60. That leads into the GGD's Contender IRs, where I selected a MAR-TV with an SMC57. And then we could even go further. We can go wild, whatever you want. We could just maybe add a... Let's, for example, make a lead tone, right? We could maybe add an instance of Pliny, where we disable everything here, and then we say, we actually want some chorus, delay, and reverb. What's going to happen now? Also kind of dope, right? The world's your oyster, so to speak. You can do whatever you want. I'm interested in seeing the latency. I didn't feel any latency, by the way, while playing this. But, I mean, these are 1, 2, 3, 4 plugins open. Let's check how much latency we have going on here, just to see if it's feasible. We have 3.5 milliseconds. You will not know that there is any type of delay or latency. Here's back to the rhythm tone. Nice. Thank you, IK Multimedia, for sending me this plugin. It was kind of fun going back in time, at least for me, going back in time to try out these amps. And even though I like how plug and play kind of thing it is, if you select preset with the OD and the cab on, I also like the fact that they deliver it without anything else, because this is for us to work with and do whatever we want with it, right? Good, that was it. That was a quick little overview of the TONEX ENGL Anthology. This is a tough word, dude. ENGL Anthology. Volume 1. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video. Peace out.